Find the garment under the component. In the new window, find Fabric Styles. Open it to see the index of different fabrics. Under the index, find Physical Property where you can modify the physical properties of the clothing. Bending bias, bending warp, bending weft. Adjust bending strength of skew, warp, and weft respectively. A higher bending value makes the fabric less prone to folding and wrinkling. When the physical properties are not adjusted, the clothing status is basically the same as when running on. Increase the bending property for the weft. Run the simulation and you can observe the skirt being lifted due to the increased bending value for the weft. Buckling ratio bias, buckling ratio warp, and buckling ratio weft adjust the deformation rate for bias, warp, and weft respectively. A higher value makes it easier to determine some structures as wrinkles. Buckling stiff bias, buckling stiff warp, buckling stiff weft adjust the deformation rate for bias, warp, and weft respectively. A lower value makes the wrinkle structure less resistant to bending. Dynamic friction adjusts the dynamic friction coefficient when the fabric undergoes friction. Static friction adjusts the static friction coefficient when the fabric undergoes friction. Shearing, renamed stretch bias in the new version, adjusts the resistance to stretching in the bias direction of the fabric. Stretch warp and stretch weft adjusts the resistance to stretching in the warp and weft direction, respectively. A higher value makes the fabric less prone to stretching. Adjust the stretching value in the shearing. And after running the simulation, you can see the fabric being shortened in the bias direction, causing the skirt to contract. Thickness controls the thickness of the fabric. Increase the thickness value, and after running the simulation, you can see the fabric significantly thickening. Weight, adjust the weight of the fabric. Increase the fabric weight, and you can see the fabric drooping, causing the neckline to be pulled down due to gravity.